Call the meeting to order. Please call the roll.
Dr. Williamson? Yes. Mr. Majors?
Yes.
Mr. Allen?
Yes.
Mr. Denton?
Yes.
Ms. Kelly?
Yes. The next item is a moment of silence to be led by our board vice president.
Thank you. As we begin this meeting, let us pause for a 60-second moment of silence to reflect, meditate, pray, or engage in any other silent activity. Thank you.
The next item is the Pledge of Allegiance, and that will be led by our board clerk, Mr. Jerry Denton.
Please stand. Pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
The next item on the agenda is the formal adoption.
Recommend approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to formally adopt the agenda. Please call the roll.
Dr. Williamson?
Yes.
Mr. Majors?
Yes.
Mr. Allen?
Yes.
Mr. Denton?
Yes.
Ms. Kelly?
Yes. The next item on the agenda has to do with the minutes of June 23rd and 24th. That has to do with the board retreat. So if there are questions, I'd certainly entertain those at this time or any discussion.
Recommend approval.
Second.
We have a motion and second to approve the June 23rd and 24th board retreat meeting minutes. Please call the roll.
Dr. Williamson?
Yes.
Mr. Majors?
If I wasn't there one day, what do I do there?
Which day was it?
The first one.
Abstain.
Abstain. Abstain.
Mr. Allen?
Yes.
Mr. Denton?
Yes.
Ms. Kelly?
Yes. The next item has to do the June 27th, 2016 regular board meeting minutes. If there are questions or discussion, I would entertain that at this time.
Recommend approval.
Second.
We have a motion and second to approve the June 27th, 2016 regular board meeting minutes. Please call the roll.
Dr. Williamson?
Yes.
Mr. Majors?
Yes.
Mr. Allen?
Yes.
Mr. Denton?
Yes.
Ms. Kelly?
Yes. The next item under summary of awards and achievements, Mr. Ken Ellett.
President Kelly, board, welcome, or good evening, I guess not welcome. Alvin Bailey Jr. Was a 2009 graduate from Broken Arrow High School, was a heck of a football player. In fact, his senior year, he was ranked in the top 30 offensive linemen in the country. Went from there to sign a scholarship at the University of Arkansas, where he started for 38 games for them, had a great career there. From there, he signed with the Seattle Seahawks, where he's played several years and actually played in their Super Bowl that they won not too many years ago. Recently, he had just kind of found a home with the Cleveland Browns and signed a contract with them. And he is, I want to kind of shift gears here a little bit. You know, we do our National Signing Day every Wednesday, the first Wednesday in February. Well, we've been doing that for many years. Well, about 5 years ago, we thought, let's start inviting a guest speaker to come in and talk to our kids, because it's really a nice occasion. And our first guest speaker was Alvin Bailey Sr. And he came in and just did a wonderful job in talking to our kids. And one of the things that he talked about was not forgetting where you come from, give back to your community, remember what your roots are. And obviously his son took that to heart because of what he is going to do, the donation that he is making to our school district. Before I actually ask you to approve that, I'd like to, his mom Dolores is here, I'd like for her to stand up to recognize. Thank you. With that being said, I would ask that the board approve a donation from Alvin Bailey Jr. for $5,000 to the Broken Arrow Public Schools.
Okay, is there any discussion?
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and second to approve the donation of $5,000 to the Broken Arrow Football Booster Club from the Broken Arrow alumni and professional football player Alvin Bailey. Please call the roll.
Dr. Williamson.
Yes.
Mr. Majors,
Yes.
Mr. Allen,
Yes.
Mr. Denton,
Yes.
Ms. Kelly.
Yes, and certainly before you leave the podium, and I want to extend to Ms. Bailey certainly a thank you to your son and for all that he contributed to the Broken Arrow community and all that he continues to do in our community. So thank you very much. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
And one other little side note is he is going to be inducted into our Hall of Fame in September.
All right.
He'll be busy playing football, so his mom and dad will be there.
Right. Thank you. The next item under recognition of National School Publication Relations Association is Miss Shelley Holland Handy.
Good evening, Ms. Kelly and members of the board. I am really happy to be here tonight to recognize some members of my team. We recently were recognized by the National School Public Relations Association for some publications and media awards. Greg Spencer was awarded an award for his video, an award of excellence. It's the new district overview video that you can view on the website and the About Us page, the new website. So Greg, if you're familiar with his work, I mean, obviously he's very deserving of this award, and he's really taken our video production to a new level, and so we're really proud of this honor. There were only, let's see, out of the 264 videos that were submitted for this award, only 28 were selected, and this is from across the nation, so we're really proud of that. Additionally, Adam Foreman and myself received an award of merit for the high school configuration study brochure. You all know Adam's work very well. He's been with our district for several years, and he really makes our messages stand out to all of our audiences. So we're very, very lucky to have somebody of his caliber in our district. And for that award, of the 581 entries, only 142 received this honor. So we're really, really proud.
I want to certainly extend a thank you to those individuals that worked on this. I know that in a community of our size, the extension of the community relations beyond our school is so vital. So thank you to them, and thank you to you as well.
Thank you. And they couldn't be here tonight, but I hope the next time that you see them, you'll extend your congratulations.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next item is Mr. Chuck Perry.
I had to bring the big hardware up here to present. I'm going to have Dr. Dunlop come up here. And recently, Dr. Dunlop was selected by the state, the Oklahoma Association of School Administrators, as the Assistant Superintendent of the Year. Her leadership, service, contributions to the profession, and she is making a huge impact on the state right now. Legislatively, involved with the P20 Council, Tulsa Chamber of Commerce, just is busy all the time, and we're really proud of her. And this is a big award, first time in Broken Arrow that this has been awarded for Assistant Superintendent, so we're proud of her. So thank you and congratulations.
Yes. Dr. Dunlop, we are very pleased to have you in our school district. Thank you so much for all that you do. Thank you. The next item under employment, Mr. Ed Fager.
Good evening, President Kelly, members of the board. Well, once again, I get to step in for Dr. Mendenhall and have some fun tonight. So, first item, number 10, I'm presenting to you for approval for the new assistant principal of Oliver Middle School. It's Mr. Michael Sagely. Mr. Sagely went to Claremore High School and then received his Bachelor of Arts from the University of Oklahoma in Political Science and U.S. History. He also received a Master's in U.S. History from OU as well. He comes to us from Claremore High School, where he has been teaching AP U.S. History. And he was also assistant coach for boys basketball and assistant coach for boys and girls tennis. So, with that.
All right. If there's any discussion, I would entertain that at this time. If not, a motion.
Recommend approval.
Second?
We have a motion and second to approve the offer of employment to Mr. Michael Sagely to serve as assistant principal of Oliver Middle School with such employment subject to a mutually acceptable and fully executed written contract of employment. Please call the roll.
Dr. Williamson?
Yes.
Mr. Majors?
Yes.
Mr. Allen?
Yes.
Mr. Denton?
Yes.
Ms. Kelly?
Yes.
Mr. Sagely, could you please stand up and introduce your guests?
Well, this is hi. Thank you for having us tonight. I just would like to say thank you to the board. I know Dr. Mendenhall's not here tonight, but I would like to extend a thanks to him for being just so open and welcoming to us. Dr. Dunlop, also my building principal, who I've met, Wendy Johnson and Mr. Mark Hofster. We're just very excited to be here. We are really viewing this as a huge opportunity for us. This is my daughter Allison, she's 3. My youngest daughter Emma is 1, and as you can see, they keep us moving pretty regularly. So we're very anxious to get started. Thank you all very, very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
I think you, hold on. You
Do you
guys
have a
forgot
wife?
to introduce the most important part.
This is the. When you make a mistake like that in public, this is Michelle. She's Michelle, my wife. We were married in 2012. We just had our 4-year anniversary, and she puts up with me. She's the glue of our family and our lives.
Welcome to Broken Arrow.
Okay, next up is also an assistant principal position at Oliver Middle School as well. We're offering that position to Kristen Graves. Ms. Graves received her Bachelor's of Arts in English from Missouri Southern State College and a Master of Arts in Educational Leadership from Southern Nazarene University. Most recently, she taught for Coweta Public Schools, where she was a department chair, the PLC lead facilitator, and the district literacy committee leader. She also was student voice sponsor and a mentor for new teachers. Ms. Graves is not able to be with us tonight, so
Okay.
I'll turn that over to you.
If there's any discussion, if not, I would entertain a motion.
Recommend approval.
Second.
We have a motion and second to approve Ms. Kristen Graves as the assistant principal at Oliver Middle School with such employment subject to a mutually acceptable and fully executed written contract of employment. Please call the roll.
Dr. Williamson?
Yes.
Mr. Majors?
Yes.
Mr. Allen?
Yes.
Mr. Denton?
Yes.
Ms. Kelly?
Yes.
Okay, the next item is an information item. I'm going to go through a few of the reassignments for assistant principal positions across the district. The first one is Mr. Dax Gray. Mr. Gray has been reassigned from Childers Middle School to the assistant principal position at Sequoia Middle School. Mr. Gray's been with the district since the 2011-12 school year, following a full-time career in the military. I don't see Mr. Gray. Oh, there he is, back there. Missed him. So, could you introduce your guests?
This is my fiance, Margaret Ann. Looking forward to the change and the new exciting. Thank you.
Thank
He
you.
didn't forget.
Okay, next up is Miss Tammy Strickland. Ms. Strickland began her career with Broken Arrow Schools in 1999, and she's taught with us up until 2007. Since '07, she's been in a number of different positions: learning coach, assistant principal at a couple of sites, and most recently was an assessment coordinator at the high school. She's now moving into the position of assistant principal at Childers Middle School. So, Ms. Strickland, could you stand and introduce your guest?
This is my husband, Chris, and our 7-year-old son's at Donnie Hopkins. I'm looking forward to being at Childers and joining that family.
Cool. Thank you.
Next up is Mrs. Bridget Powell. She's going to be the new assistant principal at Country Lane Intermediate. She began her teaching career in 1997 at St. Catherine's Catholic School in Tulsa. She taught with Tulsa Public for a couple of years and has been with Broken Arrow Public Schools since 2008. She came to us, was at Park Lane, and made the move to Highland Park. In 2010, she was named Site Teacher of the Year and was one of the top 10 District Teacher of the Year candidates that year as well. So, Ms. Powell, could you stand up and introduce your guest?
Thank you so much. I'm honored to have taught in such an amazing district and now to move into administration. I feel very blessed and honored to be a part of such a wonderful establishment in education. My husband, Larry, is with me tonight. My youngest son, Wyatt, who will be in 5th grade at Highland Park this year. My older son, who will be in 8th grade at Anita Ridge, is playing in the Broken Arrow World Series right now.
All right.
So as soon as we're done, I'm going to run to this game. My dad, Don Beach, and my mom, Susan Beach.
Okay.
And then my principal from Highland Park, and my old principal. Supports me, came to support tonight as well. So,
Great.
thank you.
Thank you. And last but certainly not least, Ms. Jana Williams has been reassigned as an assistant principal at Creekwood Elementary. Ms. Williams began her career as a teacher in 2001 with Broken Arrow Public Schools, where she taught 5th grade at Wolf Creek Elementary. She also was a Site Teacher of the Year in 2013, and she's been, most recently, was an assistant principal at Wolf Creek. So, Ms. Williams?
Yes. I would also like to piggyback what Bridget said. Thank you for this opportunity. Broken Arrow is an amazing district, and I'm looking forward to stepping in as an administrator after being a teacher. So, this is my husband, KC. We've been married 17 years. This is our son, Cade. He will be a 7th grader at Oliver, and our daughter, JC, and she'll be a 3rd grader. So, at
All right.
Creekwood.
Cool.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda are the comments from the public. Seeing that we do not have any, we'll move to the next item, which are the general consent agenda items 14 through 25. I've not had any of those brought to my attention at this time, so I would entertain a motion.
Recommend approval.
Second.
We have a motion and second to approve the general consent agenda items 14 through 25. Please call the roll.
Dr. Williamson,
Yes.
Mr. Majors,
Yes.
Mr. Allen,
Yes.
Mr. Denton,
Yes.
Ms. Kelly.
Yes. The next item under the Superintendent Board of Education Communications, the first item is Dr. Janet Dunlop.
Good evening, President Kelly, members of the board. Bring to you an item tonight. Basically, it's just the restructuring of our organizational chart. As you know, Mr. Lance Crawley has moved to becoming the new principal at Rhodes Elementary with Ms. Mossberg's retirement. And with that, required some reorganization in our offices. And so the new organizational chart that you have in front of you designates those changes. And specifically, they're under the instructional services area. And in that, of course, Mr. Officer is going to be a champion this year, and he's taking on both the roles that he had last year and Mr. Crawley's roles. So he will serve both sides of the house in instruction and serving the principals. Then with our elementary sites, with the addition of our new elementary, we're going to be up to 18 elementaries, adding the ECCs in there, and that's just a huge load. And we've worn poor Miss Dias out. So with that, we're going to split those between Miss Peterson and Miss Dias. They'll be serving the similar roles. They'll both be serving in both the instructional capacity and as guidance for the principals. We're dividing that into north and south. So with that, Miss Peterson, Jennifer Peterson, will take the north side of the district, and then Miss Dias will take the south side of the district. They will still conduct all of their meetings with the principals together and serve with our instructional specialists together, so there will be seamless approach to that. We'll have the same message going out to all of our sites, but when it comes to who those sites contact, they'll have one stop, and it will be either Miss Dias or Miss Peterson. And then the only other change really on the chart is under Mr. Perry's area. We did go ahead and add Mr. Dunn and Dr. Dale to the chart. They were already in those positions, but we added it to the chart so that we knew exactly who was serving under whose division.
Dr. Dunlop, I just wanted to extend certainly a thank you to the leadership team as a whole. I do understand that as I came into the district, one of the areas that we had an audit of the entire organization was in the area of administration. And it was clear at that time that we did not have the support structures in place, and we didn't have the alignment the way that we needed it. And of course, I know with the restructuring and the reorganization, we've had some budget cuts, and the district has been very thoughtful in working through many of those issues, and it's very apparent in the restructuring that that's been carefully thought out. And so I just wanted to extend a thank you for that, and certainly thank you for making this available to our public online as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
The next item on the agenda I will address. It has to do with the Board of Education meetings scheduled for 2017. Again, keep in mind that we did have a board retreat, which was officially an open meeting. We did have discussion regarding the meeting dates already, and it was determined that in January we had Martin Luther King Day, so we needed to make an adjustment there. So that day will be a Tuesday meeting, which is on the 17th of January. I'm just making note of those things that we talked about. The other thing is we have 2 meetings in June because of the new hire and the end of year fiscal requirements. And then the other thing was avoiding spring break. We've made an adjustment there to ensure that a meeting doesn't fall during spring break. So with that, unless there are questions or discussion, I would entertain a motion.
Recommend approval.
Second.
We have a motion and second to approve the proposed Board of Education regular meeting dates for 2017. Please call the roll.
Dr. Williamson? Yes. Mr. Majors?
Yes.
Mr. Allen?
Yes.
Mr. Denton?
Yes.
Ms. Kelly?
Yes. The next item, under Operations Services, Mr. Bob Ptolomeo.
Good evening, President Kelly, members of the board. I come to you for the monthly construction update meeting. It has been a pretty busy month this month. We have quite a few things under construction. Sequoia, the new elementary school, and then all those different schools in various stages of programming. I am happy to report Sequoia is going as scheduled. So right now we're working on the backside, the cafeteria and the visual and performing arts centers, or visual and performing arts rooms, which will also be a FEMA safe room. And then we are renovating about 25 different classrooms throughout the whole campus. This is the outside area. We have a lot of grade changes in there, so we're having to build some pretty big retaining walls and series of ramps inside to make sure we get to all the different areas of the building. These are going to be interior courtyards that'll be fully enclosed, and there'll be nice learning spaces. We're doing some stuff with some turf, and we're building some built-in planter beds for science. And then this is the interior part of the school. We have stripped all the flooring off basically every square inch of that hallway. We're going to paint every square inch. We've extended fire suppression, so all the ceiling grid had to be removed. And we are actually starting to put it back. These are the restrooms. We completely gutted the restrooms. We're bringing them up to ADA standards. We're putting ceramic tile on the wall to make it a lot more durable. And then here are the classrooms. As you can see, we have brand new ceiling in there. We have brand new millwork in there. And as you can see from the picture on the right, we even have some new carpet already going down. Out at the elementary school, we're making some really good progress on that. This is sort of a floor plan of it. It'll be composed of 6 different pods, 1 for each grade level, and then all the site work in association with that. Here is an aerial from last month. This month's haven't been taken yet, but here's what the site looks like now. We are currently out there grading. That is actually the building pad, and they have started to construct the road out to 71st Street. So we're making some really good progress out there. Out at the high school, we are still in programming with that. We hope to bid that out and bring it to the board in August, September, and start construction sometime in October. This will be the entry into that building from that south lot of the gym. So we're doing some spaces out there that'll be some more eating areas. We're building 10 classrooms and then expanding their lobby to give them some additional seats for lunch. And here's a rough floor plan. You can see how it kind of fits between Building A and Visual and Performing Arts. Building B in the Visual and Performing Arts. Out at Kirkland Activity Complex, tonight, if you guys approve it, we will start work out there with the demolition of North Intermediate, and then we will bid out the Kirkland Activity Complex as a separate bid package.
So when you say you'll begin work, could you tell me what that means specifically? Will that be in the next month?
Our tentative start date for that is July 22nd,
Okay.
if it gets approved tonight.
Okay.
So if it gets approved, we'll start mobilizing on the 22nd, which is a Friday, and we're still trying to work out all those details.
Mr. Ptolemy, will that site be shut down for the entire time, or?
Yes, it'll be shut down until we finish.
Until it's all complete, 100% complete?
With phase 1.
Okay.
Phase 1 is the renovation to the auditorium, renovation to the field house, and the soccer complex.
Thank
And
you.
then phase 2 of Kirkland, which is phase 4 of our bond, would be the natatorium. And then this is 2009 bond issue, but the Performing Arts pit lift has started. It started last Monday, and they've started to get all their shipments in. We've demoed out the old scaffolding and what they called the old orchestra pit lift, and that's where we kind of stand with that one. And then, do you guys have any questions?
Any questions? Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
The next item is Mr. Derek Blackburn.
Good evening, President Kelly and board members. I bring to you tonight basically information in regards to the Safe Schools Committee, District Committee that met several times this year. This is a review of basically their information that they provided. This committee is made up of parents, teachers, health staff, child nutrition administrators from all grade levels. In these discussions, primarily looked at our safety procedures regarding bullying, social media, education, transportation, emergency manuals, child nutrition, emergency drills, and any other safety issues that they may have at that time. As you can see on the paper that I provided you, and I will try to summarize it, one of the first topics was bullying.
One of the biggest things that concerned in regards to parents was continued communication in this area with parents and students in regards to proper behavior in school and also how to properly report those issues. Not that anything was just glaring, but again, that this is something that we live in society that we have to deal with, and to continue to educate our students as they mature in our school district. Their recommendation was also to use what we currently have at sites, either Tiger Time or Tiger Challenge, to use that time effectively in that regards. Social media was again something that is becoming more and more evident as issues, especially for children in the ages of middle school, and how they use that. Their recommendation again was for 6th and 7th graders to be provided additional information from either their classroom or during Tiger Time, Tiger Challenge, in regards to the dangers, the pitfalls, how to be more careful in regards to using that material. So those were their recommendations, and I'm currently looking at that information. In regards to transportation, the recommendation there was to continue to create communication regarding any type of behavior issues that might occur on buses. Although it is a privilege to ride a bus for the majority of our kids, we constantly look at issues on how can we better improve our service in regards to safety and time constraints in regards to getting them to school and back home in a safe manner. The emergency manual that we currently have for the district is just constantly being reviewed in regards to how we look at our procedures, how we can better ourselves in regards to national standards, etc. And that is just a continually working document. The one recommendation, and I believe this attachment is provided to you, is that all of the administrators and individuals involved in the committee believe that we needed to continue to use the quick reference form and make sure that our substitutes have that information in case of an emergency. And if you'll notice, we picked basically the 5 things that are possibly could occur and how to respond appropriately in a manner that didn't require teachers to go fumbling and trying to find something, thick manual, but something just very quickly that they can respond to in order to for life safety. Child nutrition. There were no recommendations in that regards. Everyone seemed to be pleased with what was taking place and the efforts that Ms. Goodacre and her staff were providing in regards to the nutritional information to the children. District emergency drills, all of the sites were met the requirements to the state. I will say that one recommendation was that, and being a past principal, I can say this, drills sometimes can be a situation where you try to look for the easiest time to do that, but it's not necessarily the most appropriate in regards to when an event happens. It's typically not at the best time of day anyways. So their recommendations is that our principals actually do a drill or 2 in regards to, or during, I should say, lunchtime or passing periods. And so that'll be something that we press upon our administrators to do that at least once to see how their students are going to react and or staff, and to see if we need to do basically any additional drills in that regards.
Mr. Blackburn?
Yes, ma'am.
This might be a good time to ask you. Regarding the emergency school, the school emergency response team, I know that we have our members here, but the rotation, is there a rotation on that, or is there an appropriate, I'm certainly not questioning anything that we currently are
Sure.
doing. I think that we're doing a great job here on that end of it. What I was wondering is, the more people we get trained, or the more people that we have kind of over here, there may be some resignations, there may be some separation occurring, which would allow us to immediately insert someone into that position. And so what is our plan for transition if we lose someone on that team?
Well, first of all, when we started off that group, we wanted to start small because of all of the information and training that you're required to do in order to be considered a CERT member. I do think it's a good idea that eventually our administrators get the bare bones of what it refers to. One thing that's really nice about the National Emergency Management Response is that their training is fairly simple in regards to the overall structure. A lot of things people do, but they don't necessarily know how to organize it properly. And that's something through our team that we've learned in regards to how to set something up, how to communicate an emergency type situation, and then act appropriately. Many times you'd find yourself doing some of these, but you wouldn't be doing it efficiently. So you'd think of them, but it's kind of just a thought process. With that, there are several, I would say roughly the 300 and 400 class, they recommend 48 hours of training in regards to that. That's your higher level. Most of our administrators, we can look at doing the 100 and 200 class, which is something they can do online. But that is also something that as we train this team and we go there, these individuals, these 12 individuals that we have currently right now, really are my leaders in these areas where I can assign them jobs, or Grant can assign them jobs, and then basically use our resources to get things rolling. But as far as a succession plan, as far as people fall off, I do want to keep this as a good number, and I think we'll continue to expand from this point. I definitely do not want to go below the number that we have right
And
now.
I appreciate your answer on that. I was just trying to better understand your position and how we're going to be moving forward on this. So I appreciate that very much. And I also appreciate certainly all of the work that's gone into the process here, the emergency reference sheet. I noticed that you indicated that the teachers would have in other words, they would post it and they would have a copy for the substitute. And so, and I'm certain there's been a lot of discussion, because even though we say that this is something that we're going to do, will there be some kind of monitoring to ensure that we're keeping up with ensuring that we have this in every classroom and have it certainly with every teacher so that a substitute is prepared?
One thing that's nice is that with operations with Ms. Bergwall, we actually go and visit our sites in the fall and in the spring. And that's something that I'm actually have put on my checklist to look at when we're there visiting. Not so much to say, aha, principals, I got you, but it's more or less we get very busy and things go on, and let's just remind people and or teachers that we need certain things in place, not necessarily for them, but maybe for substitutes, et cetera. So you bring up a very good point, and that is, like I said, on my checklist to add to those meetings.
Mr. Blackmore, do we do any of this emergency response or just information at new hire? When we have a new hire orientation, do we go over these things with them maybe at that time?
Well, we have safety trainings that we provide all of our staff, and as you'll notice, we actually did over 2,000 trainings in regards to that. That's general safety that's required by the state, but in regards to fire drills, etc., most of that, since it's site specific, comes from the principals and doing those drills themselves. There are some general specific things that we can say that you always will do, but not knowing which classroom they're going to be in and how they need to respond in regards to a lockdown or a fire drill, those are things that become more important once they get entrenched into their site.
And I know like some companies, they'll have a mobile app you can use for like or employee can download it to their phone, because not always you're going to be able to find that manual.
Correct.
But probably 99% of the time they're going to have that cell phone with them in the event. So is there any type of mobile app or anything like that that's available to put our plans on for our employees or teachers? Or
there's actually a couple of sites out there with the popularity of safety. Also, there are people out there trying to capitalize on that. I would like to say that based on the resources that our technology already provides, that quick reference form, maybe there's something that we can do or provide them so a teacher can hit that immediately. Obviously, keeping safety is #1 importance, but I also have to look at the fact that we do not have an endless pot of money in regards to that. But yes, sir, there are some things out there that I have been reviewing.
I remember the little flip chart we had on our desk when I taught here. I was like, well, I sure hope I don't forget to grab that thing if something happens. I mean, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you one other question. Is regarding the legislation, the new legislation, additional practice drills, etc. Is that going to pose any significant issues? Do you know?
Actually, there has been some changes to the drills themselves. I'm actually going to go to Engage Oklahoma that's coming here on Monday and Tuesday. There's a legislative session in regards to that, so I plan on picking up additional information. But what I have read to date, it actually looks like it will be a little easier on our sites. But keeping that in mind, if they lessen some of the requirements, there are some things that we still want to do or that we consider important for our district to continue.
Okay. That's good. Thank you so much. Any other questions or comments?
Thank you.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you. Next item, Ms. Michelle Bergwall.
Good evening, President Kelly, members of the board. Well, as Mr. Tolomeo spoke about in his construction update, I'm bringing for you tonight the bids for North Intermediate High School demolition. We did receive 4 bids on the project and are recommending tonight American Demolition to be awarded that contract. We do plan on starting the week of July 25th. Like Mr. Tolomeo indicated, they plan on mobilizing on the 22nd. What we are going to try to do that week of the 25th is we will hold a press conference as that building starts to come down, and then we will also be publishing 3 or 4 times that we will be allowing patrons to come collect some of those bricks as that demolition process continues throughout the following month. So we're putting those plans in place, and I think Bob was trying to be a little need to give him more credit than what he'll actually take himself. He's putting those plans in place, but we haven't met with the contractors yet to finalize those dates. And once we have those, then we'll be publishing those dates.
Okay.
Ms. Bergwall, will they be providing water on that site so we don't get dust calls or anything like that, like we do on some of our construction items?
You know, that's a good question. I don't know how we actually wrote those bids. Usually they do water trucks if it is real dusty. We usually have more problem with that when we're doing site work,
Right.
and not so much in the demolition, but with taking up the parking lots and stuff, we may have that. So that's something we'll address with them, especially this time of year where it gets really hot and dry.
Some of the board would appreciate that if they could,
Yeah.
please.
We'll look at that.
Other discussion or questions? I would entertain a motion.
Recommend approval.
Second.
We have a motion and second to approve the bid submitted by American Demolition for the general construction contract for North Intermediate High School demolition bid. The total cost to the districts is $333,254 and will be paid from the 2015 bond fund. Please call the roll.
Dr. Williamson? Yes. Mr. Majors?
Yes.
Mr. Allen?
Yes.
Mr. Denton?
Yes.
Ms. Kelly?
Yes, thank you. The next item under Student Services, Ms. Christian Welburn.
Good evening, Ms. Kelly, members of the board. Tonight I bring to you and ask for your approval for a renewal agreement with Go Fresh. This is for weekly deliveries of produce to all of our sites, and it's approximately in the amount of $300,000 for the 16-17 school year. This is a renewal, so this is our 3rd year with Go Fresh, and the original bid is actually on file. So,
Okay. Questions or discussion? I would entertain a motion.
Recommend approval.
Second.
We have a motion and second to approve the renewal agreement with Go Fresh for weekly deliveries of produce items to all sites in the approximate amount of $300,000 for the 2016-17 school year to be paid with the child nutrition funds. Please call the roll.
Dr. Williamson? Yes. Mr. Majors?
Yes.
Mr. Allen?
Yes.
Mr. Denton?
Yes.
Ms. Kelly?
Yes.
Tonight I also come to you and ask for your approval for the CC's bid to provide pizza daily to our secondary sites and weekly to our elementary and pre-K sites. This would cost us approximately $300,000 from the child nutrition funds. We did receive bids from Pizza Hut and Domino's as well, and I apologize, I don't believe the bid tab was attached, but we can get you that information. It is, okay. CC's was the lowest responsible bidder.
Okay. Other questions or discussion?
Recommend approval.
Second.
We have a motion and second to approve the bid from CC's Pizza to provide pizza daily to all secondary sites and weekly to all elementary and pre-K sites. The cost estimate for the year is $300,000 to be paid from child nutrition funds. Please call the roll.
Dr. Williamson?
Yes.
Mr. Majors?
Yes.
Mr. Allen?
Yes.
Mr. Denton?
Yes.
Ms. Kelly?
Yes. The next item, Ms. Natalie Ena.
Good evening. These are the final financial reports for the 15-16 school year. You can see the effect our state aid cut had on us finally. Technically we're up by just a hair, but we should have been up by much more had we not been cut those several times during the 15-16 school year. Our ad valorem came in higher than expected, and as did the other state sources. We have already received preliminary cuts for the 16-17 school year, and you will see those reflected in the state sources of revenue. That's where our textbook money is recorded. ACE remediation, professional development are all state allocated sources of revenue. So as we progress through the 16-17 school year, you will see those cuts reflected in that area. Building fund, our ad valorem came in higher than what we collected last year, which is a good thing. That just adds to our fund balance and starts us off in a positive position for the 16-17 school year. And our child nutrition sources of revenue all came in higher than what we collected last year due to more kiddos participating and the increased programming in our child nutrition department. General fund expenditures were very conservative, especially in the second semester of the 15-16 school year when we started to receive notifications of cuts from the State Department, especially in our consumable supply area, travel, professional development, staff registration, all those areas we stayed very conservative at. Building fund expenditures in an effort to save up our fund balance for the 16-17 school year. We didn't have those one-time expenditures that we had from the previous school year, so you can see all of the expense categories remained relatively stable and conservative, and so our fund balance will go up in this fund. So as our 2009 bond allocations are pretty much complete, and we've started with our 2015, our annual allocations will rely upon in the specialty areas, but with a higher building fund balance, we do have a little bit of a safety net in this fund now. And child nutrition, besides payroll going up for added employees, the food area and consumable supply area went up. But again, that's a direct correlation with adding more kids and more programming across the district. And at this point, we are projecting about a $13 million fund balance right now. June 30th was our fiscal year cutoff, and so we are finalizing figures and purchase orders and preparing our annual estimate of needs audit, which will give us our final fund balance for 15-16.
Are there questions or discussion? Thank you.
Thank you. My next item is the treasurer's report as of June 30th. Cash balances report reflect a total of $57,007,000. Investment ledger shows total district investments of $41,490,000. Fund security and deposit reports show a total of $56,086,000 in collateral pledged to Broken Arrow Public Schools. Total deposits requiring collateral are $35,336,000, leaving an available balance of collateral in the amount of $20,750,000.
Okay. This is information only. Are there any questions or discussion? Thank you.
My next item, activity funds report as of June 30th. In the activity funds, receipts total $7,252,000. Disbursements total $6,794,000 with an ending cash fund balance of $2,329,000.
Okay, questions or discussion?
Thank you.
Next item, Ms. Kathy Metavelis.
Good evening. The change order report this evening are the final change orders for the FY15 fiscal year. They run from June 23rd to June 30th and reflect a decrease of $1,830,754.64.
Okay. Are there questions?
Recommend approval.
I have a motion and second to approve the change order reports for all funds for the 2015-16 fiscal year. Please call the roll.
Dr. Williamson?
Yes.
Mr. Majors?
Yes.
Mr. Allen?
Yes.
Mr. Denton?
Yes.
Ms. Kelly?
Yes. Next item.
Next item are the encumbrance reports for all funds from July 1st through July 7th, totaling $2,947,623.90.
Okay, if there are no questions, I'd entertain a motion.
Recommend approval.
Second.
We have a motion and second to approve the encumbrance reports for all funds for the 2016-17 fiscal year. Please call the roll.
Dr. Williamson?
Yes.
Mr. Majors?
Yes.
Mr. Allen?
Yes.
Mr. Denton?
Yes.
Ms. Kelly?
Yes.
Thank you.
The next item is new business. Seeing that we do not have any new business, we'll move to the next item, which is to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
We have a motion and second to adjourn. Please call the roll.
Dr. Williamson?
Yes.
Mr. Majors?
Yes.
Mr. Allen?
Yes.
Mr. Denton?
Yes.
Ms. Kelly?
Yes. Thank you, everybody.